Hello guys, welcome back again. This is Frederick from Contrast. Today is an awesome day. It's a beautiful weather here in Belgium, and I really hope you enjoyed the first session where we made web design in Photoshop. So basically what we will learn today is all what you see here on screen. I will keep it short. I will go maybe a little bit fast for some people. But of course you can download the files and you give your eyes whatever you need to learn from it and just enjoy what you do, you know. This is the result. If I refresh my page, you will see there is a little fade in. So I will just click refresh. You see there is a small fade in here. Also when I scroll down, text fades in. We can scroll up. I have made this, it has a small issue here. It's not really an issue, but it's a style related thing. I actually made this website on my laptop, which is a smaller screen, and that's why I did not style it for a wide screen. You see the icon here is not moving. That's the only small issue I have right now. So if I click here, you see the icon is moving a little bit, but that's not a problem. So I made some links here, and when I click here, for example, we come to this article. So if you imagine there are more articles, this can be pretty stuff. And then I made a small script. It's totally not a bootstrap at all. It's all written myself. So this is something I think you can learn from. There are all little and small pieces, small scripts that really can make a website beautiful, I think. Something I did not include here is an image or a logo. You're free to do whatever you want there, see, and I will show you what I mean here. This is basically the diff that I wrote, where you see this architects, which is basically the text I've written here. So it's a diff with a small diff here inside of another diff. So this is what you see. So this is my image, which can be a logo image, actually an SVG or JPEG or whatever you want. And I place it inside of this logo. Then I have a menu which is actually hidden. Why? Because when the website is loading, you don't see this light blue menu with all of these links and stuff, but basically it's included inside of this web page. See, it's inside of this page here, but I hide this. How do I do this? I wrote here body on load hide diff. So actually I say you need to hide something which is a diff that is defined, and then on the totally bottom of my web page I have written a small script here. Of course this can be really overwhelming if you don't know anything about JavaScript or HTML, but this is not really a problem right now at this moment. So I write here that to hide the diff ID, which is here menu. See, this is the menu ID that will be hidden, and the other, when I click on show on another diff that has the ID of show, he needs to show this diff ID with menu. This is basically what's going on here. So at first he will hide this ID of menu, the diff ID which is complete this part. This will be hidden on load, and when I click on this diff here, then I show this one, you see. And of course this diff is styled in my style sheet, and here I place it higher. So basically z-index is where you can imagine the website, the body of the web page. So the complete body is here. This is the complete website actually that people see, and this body, imagine this is on a level of 0. So 1000 is higher, 2000 is higher again. So I place everything over each other. See, it's like in 3D where you can move further away or closer to the screen. but which is of course another piece to make a tutorial about. But right now it's I will not tell everything, but basically we will just start off from scratch. So I will remove everything and we build the complete website. So if I now save this and we go back, we shall not see anything, which is completely true. And then of course, how do we start with a website? If you don't know anything about HTML, follow my tutorial that's actually at this moment online as well, where you can learn to build this small website, which is basically something like this, you see, with no scripts. You just have a body here and a header, and I also explain how to include scripts and how to do all this kinds of stuff. So guys, here we go. This is my start off. So I have a complete website now that is complete empty. I will not remove my script because otherwise I will write this all again. But of course you can copy this from my website, no problem there. So what I will do first of all, because I will not write all of my styling, which was actually one day of work, I will not do this all again. But if you want to learn, just learn from my style sheet as well, and you can go from there and try things out maybe. So what I start off now, I will not include keywords and stuff like that, but I will just go with my style sheet. So what I will do is I include my style sheet at this moment. So how do we do this? We write link and then rel equals style sheet, and then we can of course include the type, which is equals text CSS, like this. And then of course you have a link to your document, your styling document, which is on my web server, which I also will explain. So it's inside of a folder in CSS, and it's called the document style.css. See? And then we close this like this, and when I save this, I will just explain what this means. So I link to this folder that will be on my website when I upload it. So, and inside of this folder, which is actually this architects folder, is just the name locally on my system here, but this will be the roots folder of your website, you see. So later on this architects will not be available anymore, but all of the other stuff inside here will be on my root of my website. And on the root there will be 3 folders, which is one Rubik, which is the letter type that we use. We have a JS folder where all JavaScript and stuff is included, and then we have a CSS folder where I have my styles all placed together to keep everything clean. So if I close this, you will see this is what will be on the server, you see. And inside this CSS map or folder, we have our style sheet document. The animate minified CSS is something we will use for the animation, which was actually, I cannot show it again, but it was actually this fade in effect that actually is styled there. So where did I get them? If you just search in Google for wow.js, I have it here. So basically what we will learn, or what we have included in my website, is this wow.js. Here you can see a live demo. I will put a link below, guys. I will keep this open. So then you can include this here as well. See, so we have those animations later on. So again, there is a link, but I will just copy this because it's written the same, just the link is different. And then I place here animate minified CSS, which is this file here. I save this, and then of course we need our scripts that we are using here, so we all include these. One of them is of course here, which is my own script, which will animate the website up and down when we click on a link. And of course we need the other ones as well, so I copied this link and I will place it here, and then I say I need this jQuery minified, which actually was on another external link, but I do this a lot. I download everything locally and I place it on my web folder. Why? Because I see a lot of people using external links, which will slow down your loading page speed, to say it correctly, which is not a good thing for SEO, guys. Just remember this. I see a lot of people using external links and stuff like that, but it will really slow down your website, so don't do this. This is really important if you are serious about web pages and stuff like that. So, and then I will just include my wow.js, so we have the effects as well. Minified JS, like this, and then normally we should have everything. And of course, if you see here on this tutorial, they will explain you how to make this. And see, in JavaScript they say you need this script, and how do you do this? Basically it's simple. You just write inside of your header here, you just write script again. Oh, wrong. And then I close this. And if I forgotten to say what I'm using Sublime Text. It's a free and open source code editor. You can use it for a lot of great stuff. So I save this. So now when I say I have a diff to explain what is going on. So I have my body on load guide diff. So I will hide, which I explained before. And if I now say I have one diff here with the ID of header, and I say I close this diff and I go back and I refresh my page, see, there we go. This is my diff that I just defined here. This is basically the blue stuff you see on screen, which is defined inside of here. Here is diff ID. By the way, if you don't know how much about styling, here I style the header ID, and this hashtag is basically an ID, and a dot or point is basically a class name. So logo is something we will write inside of this header here to show the difference. So if I have a diff again with a class, but you will not see because there is no image linked inside, but if I just say this class is logo or logo name, which is something I can show you, logo name, I close this and I say hi guys, hi guys, and I save. We should see here this logo name, see? And now what is wow.js doing? That's now the question if you don't know this. So if you have an ID, you can also give it a class name, which is very interesting, I think. So I have a class now, and now I say this class will be wow. Maybe it's sounding funny, but it's working and in a nice way. So this is because of free version. So if I save this and we reload the page, we should see a small fade in. See, you can also say fade in right. All this stuff you can write on their website. See, all these nice effects you can use, but I really like it clean like this. And then we have this nice effect. Of course, if you remember, this is not the only thing that's going on inside of my header. There was a lot more stuff going on. So basically the logo name here was architects. And then I had the logo image, which I did not include it to save me time. I can design a logo, but not at this moment. I was away a little while to work for clients, so I could not continue with my videos. I'm sorry guys, but of course, if you can make more money somewhere else, you need to do this. So this will be my part where the logo is displayed, but it's also styled inside of a diff. I remember it's diff class logo. And then I close it, and then I need to close my diff here, because actually all this is inside of this other diff. You can layer as much diffs as you want. Of course guys, if you don't want an image, you can also use a small diff. So to move a little bit faster, I can just copy and replace this image with another diff, and I can say this is the logo image img, like this, and I close my diff like this, and I say, for example, I have an it was a class, of course, and then I have a logo image, and I open my brackets and program closes them automatically, which is very nice about this Sublime text editor. And then I can say I have a border solid 1 pixel red, and I say it's also floats left, and I can say the width is 50 pixels and the height as well, and I save it and I refresh my page, and I should see something now, and nothing is changing up. Probably I did something wrong. So I have my div logo image. Oh, sorry. It's basically written completely wrong. So it was logo image, so if I refresh, should work now. See? So this can be a logo. Of course you can style this. You can say it needs a little bit more space from the top, and then you can say, okay, I want this margin top also at 50 pixels maybe, so should work now. It's too much. Oh, there we go. This is styling. See, 20 maybe, but I will not do this for all the rest. I will just continue. So I will stop here guys, and I will move on. But this is basically how you style everything. So at this moment, to keep things simple, I have my div ID, which is header, and then we will continue with the other divs. So we have our templates actually on the screen. So I will just copy this line of code to make it simple, and then I remember I used an images ID, which will be a white rectangle on screen, and I close this div, and then I have a content, which will be the projects. If you remember this text where I use architects, and the project name Adae, and the lorem ipsum text that I integrated as well. So this will be the content, and then I have a footer as well. So I have a footer, of of course nothing is inside, so I will use simple text here for footer content, and this will be the images field. So if we now refresh, we should see all the styling going on. So you see I have the footer with the text centered, we have all the rest, but of course this is not the only stuff. There's a lot more going on. All these classes and IDs you will find in the style sheet. Learn from it, see how I did it, and you can go on from there, I think. So basically, to have those nice animations, we need to integrate some links. I will start off with this footer, which basically used a simple href link. So I will just write it, follow along. You can always go back to or skip the video or whatever you want. You can rewatch the video, of course, and you can go on from there. So I close this link, I say this will be top. So if we now refresh, we should see the link here. So if I click, nothing will happen, of course, because the website is not seeing slide 0. See, it's looking, when I click here, it's asking for the slide ID 0, but I don't have it. So where do we place it now? Actually, I will just give everything a little bit more space to keep it easy to see. This diff ID of header was inside of another ID that I made, which is basically a class, diff class, and then I use as 0 and then an ID. This will be the ID when we click on something. So this is slide 0, and we close this diff. Of course not here, we copy and paste it below like here. So this is the diff, you see the dots. When I click here, you see it closes here, which is handy, and then inside of this class. So if I now save and refresh, we should have a working link on the, when we go to the bottom and we click, it goes up again. See, this is awesome stuff, I think. If you ask me how I did it, it's another story, but I will not tell everything, of course, but you can copy my script, no problem there, as I mentioned before. So to go to these links or places inside of the website, we also need names. So I will just copy this for my own and easy use, and this will be as 1, I think, and then slides 1, and then I close it again here. I will move this. So if you select and press tab key, you can move the parts. I will do it for the rest as well, and when I place it here, I say S2, slide 2, then I close this link with an close diff like this, and then of course I place another one which will be S3, which is the footer, and then I have slide 3 here as well, and we close it here, line it up perfectly like this. We give it a little bit more space to see it visually better, and so we have our body, and then of course this will be the top menu with all the links. Then we have our content. So now if I had links here, you see everything is lining up better. There is a white space here because actually I probably forgotten something in the footer there, but don't mind. So basically we start off with this nice menu that I made, and I will explain how it's working as well. So basically I will just see what we did there. So now we need this hide and show of menu. So we need the menu ID here inside of this menu. So I will make a new div here. Div ID is menu. And then we can of course give this class name here. You can give this classes on all these things that you want to animate, and then we close this div. So basically this will, everything in here will be hidden when the website is loading, and when we click on other stuff we can show it back again or hide it again, which will be very awesome. Of course you can use it for other purposes, doesn't matter really much, but inside my menu of course I have a UL, which is basic stuff if you learned HTML, and inside of this UL I will just line them up. Inside of this UL you have your links, so LE, and then we close it, and then we will have our links, which will be, oh, I've forgotten something, href, and then we say equals, and then of course we just say our ID. So if we click on this link, we can for example ask to show slide 1 or slide 2. So we will just start off with slide 2 here to demonstrate it, and this will be the contents, and in the contents we will talk about our first project, which is Adae, and I say just for simple demonstration we have a link here which will be an h2 title, and I say Adae, and inside of my header of course you see we had this nice project name here, and there was an image, but the image I will skip for now, so I will just integrate the title, which was an h1 tag. So inside of my header here I will have another nice h1 tag, which is the most important title of the web page actually at this moment, so it can be anything here. So if I save and refresh, you should see Adae has a link as well, but this is because I did not finish everything. So basically inside of our UL we have our links. So imagine there are more projects maybe, and there is a project name with mono, and then this will be linking to another slide, which can be 3, 4, 5, as much as you want here, and you just copy all these blocks under each other and you have as much projects as you want. And of course you're totally free there, see. So we have our links, and then we have our title, and inside here we will include our other div, a div class which has the name menu button. This will be the icon or image or whatever you want to make it there. This can be an SVG as well. What I'm talking about is here we will have a knob or an icon that we can click on, and this will be this div, and inside here we will have just a div ID equals show, which is basically something that will trigger our script. So in this case it will trigger the script to show the menu. This icon here, so I refreshed it, so this is the icon. Just after this menu I also wrote a line which was UL ID, so you can of course style this as well, and I wrote here that actually this is called navbar, so navbar underscore nav, and then I included here another div with an ID of hide. So this will be a close icon when the menu is open, that people can close it again. And I just placed an icon here. Of course you can change these, or like here I just used an equal sign, but you can place an image as well. I also needed a code offline here. I also, if I remember correctly, integrated inside of this header another div, which actually I called wrapper. So we will have something around everything to keep it together and to line everything up. So I will just write div class and then equals wrapper, and I will just move these a little bit, and then I close this div wrapper. This can happen with this text editor, so keep this in mind. So basically I did not close my links. This is the problem. I forgot, sorry about this, but it's good, so you will learn from this. I make mistakes as well. So I did not close my link, and that's why this menu was doing strange things. So if I refresh, this should work now. When we load the page, see, this is working, and the menu is coming down because something is written wrong here. I basically was wrong here on the top. I wrote an O instead of a 0, and this was the problem with the styling. So when I refresh now, and we see the icon is on top and everything is working fine. So I made a small mistake there, sorry there, can happen. But for the other part, we will continue with the website. So we need our images here and a little bit of text, and then we have this top icon. So why the footer? So I just think about something, guys. I have this white space here below because I actually styled an S3 here. It was here. I give it a height. What I did here, guys, this is basically the scrolling height. So when we click on those links here, and I ask for slide 2, which will, you see it on the screen below. You see I'm asking for div ID slide 2, and when I click, it will show up perfectly on the height of the screen. So how do I style? I basically have made those small classes S2, S1, S0, and I define the heights of them. So basically you can change these, see, but basically the footer doesn't need this slide 3 because you don't go clicking on a menu on a website to ask for the footer of the website. This is not what you normally do. So normally if I save this, it should work now and the white space will be gone. And voila, there we go. We have a working website, and of course we can include our images, a slideshow maybe, and do whatever we want. But for now I will not do this. I will just make my life easier, and I will just integrate an image that I styled as well. So inside of my image I will just say that I integrate an image here. So then you see how you can link to an image. So I need the source, of course, and then I say equals the link to my image, which is images.jpg, and I close it. So what I'm asking for here is this images.jpg file, which is basically what we will see now on screen. So there we go, see? And also I make it a little bit more responsive, so the image is completely, you see, on this width, the image height here is not correctly lining up. Why? Because this has to do with those S1, S2 heights. So basically I'm talking about this here. So when the screen is getting smaller, you will see this, how to make it responsive in the next tutorials. But basically we need to style these as well. So when the screen is getting smaller, sorry, that we will change the height and width of the image as well. So for this tutorial, everything is working fine till we get to this point. So if we make it bigger, it will be complete elastic, the image. And of course my complete goal for this is when we click on here, we will see the projects loading or images that we can scroll through, which will be nice. So see, and now of course we can style everything, and we can continue on this a little bit faster now. So we have our images, and then we can say we need text. So we have our content here, and then I say this will be my architect's title. Then of course we can say we need an H3 tag, and I talked about this in my tutorial in Photoshop. So this is a smaller title actually that we will use. I close it, and this was a project name. So this can be all kinds of blocks, and you can style them as well once you know how to style all of this. And then we use a paragraph, and I close it like this, and I say this will be the text, this will be the project info, and I save it. And when we reload the page, we will see some nice title, a small subtitle, and then here will be all the info and links and knobs maybe. But for now I think we have a basic understanding of how we can make a nice menu. We have a scroll effect, which is nice, and of course we can in our footer place copyrights and stuff like that, or a contact info and whatever you want. Doesn't matter at this point, but we have a full working website at this moment, which is nice. And then of course in the top we can include our publisher links and stuff like that. Guys, I will not show this in the video, but I will include it so you have everything. Also I will include a few links, so if you download the files you will have the complete website that we built here. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed it. This was my tutorial on how to build an HTML5 website. In the next tutorials we make it complete responsive. We will also include a nice slideshow. After we made the slideshow, which will be my fourth tutorial on YouTube, then I will make a mobile friendly website. So we will completely make this responsive, and then we will close down this tutorial where we place the website online.